There was a student I once had, everyone called him naughty because he skipped classes, he complained often, and he always said that his stomach was in pain. It's not one day or 2 days, it's almost every single day. Teachers didn't believe in him, parents and even myself didn't fully believe in him. 6 months later, he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, and eventually, he passed away. That student changed the way I see every child today. Let's talk about something dangerous in education. Labels. Things like lazy, naughty, attention-seeking, or problematic. These words are very convenient because they are also intellectually lazy conclusions. Because labeling is not understanding. In special needs education, this becomes even more critical. A child with ADHD may look disruptive. Dyslexia child may look lazy, and autism children may look non-compliant. But what we see is often the surface. Let me tell you about this student of mine. He wasn't the best student. He struggled to focus, he avoided tasks. And most importantly, he kept saying, "Teacher, my stomach hurts." At first we responded with care, but when it became frequent, we started thinking to ourselves, he's just trying to escape work. Or maybe he just doesn't like studying, or that he's making excuses. Because he skipped school lessons, but he came for swimming lessons. So that confused us even more. We thought, if this boy can swim, he must be fine. But what did we do? We corrected behavior, we pushed discipline, we assumed that he's just being lazy. We focus on why is he avoiding instead of asking, what is he experiencing? Even when he went to the clinic, nothing was found. So our assumption just became stronger. He is lying, was the conclusion. But the truth was, the problem was deeper than what any of us could see. When the diagnosis came, it didn't just shock us. It broke something inside of me. Because I realized this child was not just fighting his body. He was also fighting our misunderstandings, our frustrations, our judgment. Imagine being in pain, but no one believes you. Imagine trying to explain, but you don't have the words. And imagine being labeled while you are silently suffering. I asked myself, how did he feel during those 6 months? I don't have the answer to that, and until today, it still troubles my mind. Now let's step into this from a special needs education perspective. Children, especially with those with learning differences, they often cannot articulate their pain clearly. They struggle to describe internet experiences, or they express distress through behavior. So what do? They show it through avoidance, complaints, meltdowns, withdrawal. But here's the key principle. Behavior is communication. When a child says, "I have headache," it could mean sensory overload. It could mean anxiety. It could mean fatigue. It could mean emotional distress. Or yes, a real issue. When a child says, "I want to go to toilet again," it could mean avoidance. It could mean lack of confidence. It could mean overwhelm or genuine need. The mistake that we make is that we jump from behavior to conclusion instead of going to behavior, to curiosity, to investigation, to understanding, and only to response. So today my approach has changed. Let me show you what I do now. I start with belief, not blind belief, but respectful belief. If a child says, "I'm not feeling well," my first response would be, "Okay, tell me more about it." And number 2, I will go and investigate. I observe the patterns, the frequency, the timing, and the context. Example, if a student always asks to go to toilet during a reading time, so instead of saying, "Stop making excuses," I would say, "Is reading difficult for you?" So then we start to try to uncover the dyslexia part of the student or the reading anxiety. I would try to give my support. So instead of removing responsibility, I adjust it. So I would say, take 5 minutes, then come back, and then we try together. And so when the child hears this, he feels like he's being heard. And then he feels supported, he feels accountable. And then comes the last part, I will follow up. After the session, I would say, "Hey, are you feeling better now? Is your head still feeling painful? Are you still feeling stomach pain? Do you still want to go to the toilet?" I make sure that I address whatever excuses or whatever statements or whatever thing that he's trying to say at the start. Because I just want to make sure again that, it will not be just like my previous student. I would want to build trust, emotional safety, and long-term honesty with all the students of mine. So instead of saying that they are lazy, instead of just giving them that label, I would say, I notice that you are trying to avoid the task. I notice that you're trying to not wanting to do this thing. Are you feeling okay? Is there something that you need? Are you feeling stressed about this work? And then I would tell him that, let's work this out together. Maybe I'll make it easier for you. So it will be a working together experience with me and this student to accomplish a particular task. Now, when we focus on addressing the behavior without taking the identity, things can change. Let me give you some real life examples. My students would say, I'm tired and I just want a rest. So the old response, I would say, stop being lazy. But after using this new approach, I would say, is the task too difficult or too boring? The result shows that the child starts to open up. It says that this is just too difficult for me. So I would adjust the task, and then he starts to engage better and he learns faster. Another student of mine, he hates reading. Every time when he sees the book, he struggles with it, and then he tries to lie down and just shows that he doesn't care. He would make a lot of sound. So I change it into a game for him and says, hey, let's play a game. I read and you follow after me. And the moment I close my mouth, he cannot read also. So I go like, twinkle, twinkle. Then I'll look at him and then he will start laughing. But later on, what I found out is that he has some eye issue when he was young and he did some eye surgery. So doctors tells us that his eyes is struggling to focus at times. And so I feel much better. I feel that I did not judge the child, and I feel that I'm trying to encourage him in his learning experience. And now he is more willing to follow me to do reading activities. We change it to games like reading off the lyrics instead of reading specific words in drilling matter. I don't tell him that he must read this over and over again, but I change it to songs that he likes to sing, or that we play a game while we are reading. And this helps him with his learning experience. Back to my student in the past. That student, he never got the chance to explain fully. But he taught me something that I'll never forget. Every time a child speaks, even if it sounds like an excuse, there is a possibility, no matter how small, that it is a cry for help. And we may not always be right, but we must always be careful, because behind a naughty child may be just a child who is hurting, struggling, or misunderstood. And this time, I choose to listen first so that I'll never have to wonder again. What if I believed him earlier?